Hey everybody, Brock Frady here, helping you enjoy your ride. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at a 2024 Foundation Series Tesla Cybertruck. But before we get started, I want to say a huge thank you and shout out to Impex Auto Sales in Greensboro, North Carolina for the opportunity to film this beautiful Cybertruck. I'll be sure to leave all of Impex Auto Sales contact information, including their website, in the description box below. Ever since I saw that Tesla was going to be coming out with this thing, I have absolutely been obsessed with it. I think I may be one of about 1,000 people in the world that actually likes this thing. And you know what's interesting? I hear online and people talking junk about it, how ugly it is, but then when you see one in person, you can't not look at it. You absolutely have to stare. But I think that probably could be the way, the philosophy behind why people stare at car accidents. I don't know, maybe not. But I am in the minority of the people that love this vehicle. I don't really know what to say about an exterior walk around, because normally I talk about beautiful lines and all these things, and all you can really say about this thing is that you're almost waiting for a hand to come down and to pick it up and to start playing with it, because it looks like a toy. And it's absolutely fabulous. On the outside, it is stainless steel. And some of the body panels don't exactly line up. I'm sure you have read reviews to where they're talking about the woes of manufacturing this thing and how the body panels don't line up. I don't really find that on this one that are like bad. I think there is a little bit of a mismatch here, but I think that's because of the way the front works, which we'll take a look at that here in just a second. Gigantic light strip right here along the front. And then you have lights down here at the bottom. Of course, all of that is going to be LED. Cameras literally all over the place in this thing, including on the interior. A 19-foot windshield wiper. Look at this piece of rubber. You're not going to get that at Walmart. I don't know where you're going to get that wiper other than at Tesla. Everything obviously is geometric. Everything is angular. By the way, driving it over here, it is so weird because this thing, if blind spots were a feature, this would have almost a whole page dedicated to them, because it has a tremendous amount of blind spots. Now let's take a look at the bed real quick. This is a full-size pickup truck bed, so you can put a ton of stuff in it, and there are a couple of buttons right here. This one you're going to hit, and it's going to automatically pop open the rear door. And you do have like a track system with hooks, right, cargo hooks right there, and this track system right here. The only thing about this bed is that because of the way these angles are, it's so deep from up there that if you put anything in the back of it that's close to the cabin itself, you're not really going to be able to reach that. But, you know, this thing is not about practicality in any way, shape, or form. Then you have a cool tonneau cover. Let's see if this tonneau cover is going to close. Yes, sir. And it's a one-touch situation. There it goes. And then when you pull this up, by the way, this is extremely light, and that's easily workable. Then it's completely closed. So there's your enclosed weatherproof bed box. That's pretty awesome, actually. And then you have a backup camera here. By the way, the cameras in this thing, when you're looking at the external cameras from the inside, they are absolutely crystal clear. And the navigation system, it looks like it uses Google Maps for its software, so they are just super crystal clear as well. Notice all the fingerprint smudges and all the like weather stuff that are all over it. I don't know. It's just like a bulldog. It's just so ugly that you actually kind of like it. Gigantic Goodyear tires. These, of course, are all-terrain tires. I'll leave the specs of the tires on the video overlaid there itself. Disc brakes up front, disc brakes in the back. And I'm really surprised at how good this thing rides. We'll go over the ride here in just a second when we hop inside of it. But the ride is absolutely fabulous, and wait till you see the steering yoke. It is not a steering wheel, it is a steering yoke. And then you have foundation series right here on the outside. Foundation simply means one of the first that were made in the first year model. I believe there are 25,000 of these that are going to be produced, and they come in a variant. You can get different power proportions, different motor setups, with the biggest one being what's called Cyber Beast. And it is just a beast of a vehicle. This one is not. I think this one's the dual motor, but it is still absolutely rocket fast and just good looking, isn't it? All right, let's take a look at the front. There's not much space up here. It's pretty much good for a couple of weekend getaway bags, maybe a couple of grocery bags, but you're not getting much in there. But one of the coolest things about it is that it has Cybertruck right here, and look, it looks like it's welded. You see that? Cybertruck. It looks like something a kid would scribble in his notepad when he was bored in math class in the 1980s. And that's what I love about it. So that's the frunk. In order to close the frunk, all you do is hit this button. And of course, it is a power closing frunk and power opening as well. I absolutely love that integrated light bar. It is so distinctive. And it is so fun to drive this thing. I've only driven it a few miles, but it's like it stops traffic when you're riding around in this thing. God, it's so sexy looking. So now the key for the Cybertruck looks like this. It's just a card. And as long as you have the card on your person, you can operate the vehicle completely. And there are little instructions right here. So if you try to go and to use a door handle to get into this thing, you're not going to succeed, because all you do is you take this key card and you put it up near the B pillar, and it will allow you to open it up. So you put it about right there, and then you push this in, and then it unlocks, rolls the window down just a touch, and there it is. It's gonna go to the last settings too. When I got out, of course, I had the AC on, I had the radio on. So right now the AC is running. It went to the last station, the radio station that I was on. So that's pretty cool. It has an intelligent way of knowing where you were when you left. Then back here on the rear door, we're gonna hit this, and then we're gonna open the back door. And so there's the rear. So you can see this beautiful white trim on the back, black and white, how angular all of that is. And then you can see the back seats. They're actually super roomy. And then you can see this beautiful pano roof right there that actually lets in a ton of light into the Cybertruck. So let's quit all this talking and hop in and take a look at the interior. So the back seat of the Cybertruck is wonderful. You have a brilliant screen right here, something I've never seen before in the back of a vehicle. I'll show you that in just a second. But it feels huge in the back seat, and that's due in large part to this angle that looks just so crazy ridiculous from the outside. It actually pays off dividends on the inside, because I'm 6'3" and I can sit back here with plenty of headroom with a hat on and have plenty of leg room right here in the back. You could actually get 3 adults back here, no problem. I feel beautiful, cool air coming in from the side here. This would be super comfortable for a nice long trip. Plus, like I mentioned before, this big open glass canopy makes it feel so much more cavernous and big than it actually really is. Kind of plays with the senses there. Let's take a look at this cool screen right here in the middle. So check out this screen. This is basically the average screen size of a screen that is in a vehicle up front, usually. Of course, Tesla has that monster 17-inch one up front. We'll take a look at that one in a second. But this one here, you've got tons of different functions. You can turn the fan on, you can turn the fan off, and you can see how neat that is. It's showing you a dynamic of where the air is coming from. It's nice and cool. But then you have this menu of buttons here to where you can turn on your heated seats. You can do things with the music if you want to. You can watch Netflix, YouTube, Twitch, or Hulu. I'm sure other providers and platforms are coming eventually. And then screen brightness, you can set it to clean the screen, add new headphones or Bluetooth devices to this independent setup. Man, this is absolutely incredible. So, I mean, it's just as good being in the back seat as it is the front. Of course, there's no better seat in the house than that seat, but this is a close second because of all the cool amenities that you have back here in the back seat. Okay, everybody, the coolest part of the video, I think, is from the driver's seat. So take a look here. As you know, or maybe you don't know, Tesla kind of goes out of their way to not put any buttons in their vehicles, or very, very, very few. So right here, this is how you roll down your doors. This is how you actually open the door from the inside, and that is it. Isn't that crazy? Then here is your seat. There are your power adjustments for your seat. It has perforated vegan leather there, and this seats are heated, of course. And there is your main seat. There's your passenger seat with the cool light gray piping around. And look at that steering yoke. That thing is absolutely incredible because of the way that the wheels turn. It has the 4-wheel steering, so it is super weird. It's kind of freaky as far as the steering is concerned. Then you have your accelerator and your brake, and this huge pass-through section there to where you can store all kinds of items if you wish. That's super convenient. Then, of course, your cup holder, and this is the area where you have to keep the key. So in order for the vehicle to work, what I have found, there may be another way around this, but you take your key card and you put it right there. And then here is going to be your center console right there. Typical center console for storage. That super cool screen, and that AC feels so good. Take a look at this virtually non-existent, totally unuseful rear view mirror. This thing, because it has so many blind spots, it's almost like they put this there just to make fun of a rear view mirror. It's crazy how useless that thing is. By the way, I think this is the largest windshield on any production vehicle out there right now. It is just absolutely massive, that windshield. All right, let's hop into the driver's seat and take a look at all of the cool buttons and electronics from the driver's seat. Okay, the view from right here is super cool. Like I mentioned, it has a steering yoke. And wait till I show you how this thing operates on the drive. It is so unique, and it definitely takes practice getting used to this. So on the left side of the steering wheel is going to be your turn signal. So you do not have a traditional steering wheel stalk or wiper stalk at all. So on the top, you're going to press it, and it's going to turn your steering wheel or your turn signal, right turn signal on, and it's going to activate the right camera. That is just the coolest thing. So that's looking out that way. Then you can do your left one, and it's going to activate the signal and your left camera. Pretty cool. Then you just tap it again in order to deactivate it, or I think it also will deactivate by the turning of the wheel once you complete your turn. Then here are going to be your light settings. So you can press and hold, and then your lights are on automatically, or you can press it again and press on, and now the headlights are fully on. Parking lights, that beautiful light bar there, and you can see right here on the screen, it's indicating that your headlights are actually on, and then you can turn them off. You see that? See right here, parking, on, auto, off, and you can see it matches with what is happening in reality. Then on the right side of your steering wheel is going to be such cool stuff. So there is a little icon up here on the top left. I don't really know how to describe it, but it's just top left. That is going to show you all of your cameras. And then here's that's the front, that's the left, that's the right, and oh yeah. So whenever you press a certain camera, it expands the screen into that camera, or actually swiping up. Okay, so you can tell this is my first rodeo on this. So then you have, oh, I just washed off the front camera. So that's what that icon is. That washes off the front camera. And then here is your cruise control. And that's a little bit confusing because it shows a cruise control icon, a typical cruise icon that you see in a lot of vehicles, but nothing happens. But when you press the left side of the little wheel, you can see that it's going to increase and decrease the following distance of your radar cruise control right there. So that's what that is. Then on the bottom right of this is going to be your voice commands, to where you can do all kinds of things, including setting your temperature. Set the temperature to 65 degrees. There you go. Nice and easy. You can see that was super intuitive. And then on the top right, let's take a look at this, because this is the coolest thing. That's going to be for your windshield. I love that feature. Now, here is the thing about the windshield wiper. In order to actually turn on your windshield wiper, it's a two-step process that utilizes both sides of the steering wheel. And to me, that makes zero sense, because if you're riding down the road and, you know, usually your thought is over here on the right, you pull something down or push it up in order to activate the wipers, or they cut on automatically. From what I understand, this does not have automatic rain sensing wipers. I could be wrong. I'm sure you'll correct me in the comment section. But when you press this, it does a single wipe of this lightsaber looking windshield wiper. But then another thing pops up and it tells you to go to the left side of the wheel to, oh, it does have rain sensing wipers. There you go. So there's auto. Thank you. So then, but then you have to press it, and then you have to pick auto or level 1 or level 2 or level 3 or level 4. And when it's on level 4, it's literally rocking the car. I can feel it moving the vehicle right now. That tells you how substantial that windshield wiper. Oh shoot. So now, in order to turn it down, I have to press the right side again and then scroll down back to auto or off. And then you press this button in and hold it in order to use, in order to squirt your windshield off. I want to show you what that actually looks like. Okay, so on the right side of the steering wheel, look. Is that not a sight to behold? That's just impressive. Look at this. And here's where it rocks the vehicle back and forth. Holy free-holies. That's impressive. I don't want to know what that thing costs to replace. So check this thing out. It's about the size, look, it's about the size of my hand, and it is totally pointless. You literally cannot see. All you can see is the people in the back, maybe. That's where you're really going to have to depend on your cameras in order to see out of the sides or out of the back of this thing, and or there's side view mirrors. And those side view mirrors, by the way, you can't see very far back because the truck bed literally gets in the way of your view of the rear view mirrors, because they're angled like that, and it's like the top of them is cut off. So that's that. And then here is your shade, and you can just take this, and it's kind of magnetized. You see that? Isn't that cool? So then you can take this and pull it out here, and then put it back here, up. That's actually, and it's got an Alcantara, kind of a cloth leathery feel to it. Super neat. There's also a light bar right here. Oh, look at that. It's touch sensitive. Of course it is. And you can see it's lit up on one side or the other depending on which side you touch. And then look where your hazards are located. There you go. Taking a look at this beautiful, brilliant paper white screen, and I love the fact that it's kind of subdued looking. It's not shiny. They need to apply the same technology they put on the screen to the outside, because it doesn't show fingerprints, and it's super responsive. Very, very nice. Over here on the top left, it's confusing when you first get into this thing how to actually put it into gear, because there is no gear selector. The gear selector is going to be up here in the top left: park, reverse, neutral, and drive. And the way you do that is you have this key card down in this position here, and then you actually take it, put your foot on the brake, and then it will say choose direction on touchscreen, and you can actually take the little Tesla Cybertruck icon and move it forward, and it's in drive mode, and then press the accelerator to drive, and you're good to go. It's still telling me I have to put my seatbelt on. That's good. And then when you come to a complete stop and you're finished with your trip, all you do is press P to put it into park. And then if with my foot on the brake again, I can pull it, drag it back into reverse. All of my cameras activate, my side mirrors just tilted back, and then I press the accelerator to go to reverse. Press P to tap P to put it into park, and that's it. That's neat. Then this display is kind of there all the time whenever it's in this home screen. So I can press this to open the frunk, open the tonneau, slide the tonneau cover open, open tailgate, and then I can use this to adjust the ride height, high, medium, low, and entry. We're on entry right now. Super convenient. Back to this home screen showing the entire vehicle. I don't know if I can zoom it. Yes, I can. How cool is that? I can, golly, I can do that to see my surroundings. There's a little kind of a map there showing me my lights are on, all that stuff. Goodness gracious, that's nice. Then I can press navigate, and look what I mean by this screen when I was doing the exterior walk around. Look at that. And you can zoom in and you can see the parking lot I'm sitting in right now. It even shows me the exact location of the tree I'm sitting under. That is impressive. If you don't like this vehicle, you can't knock the nav system because it is absolutely brilliant. That is something else. But to get to like a complete menu screen, you go here and press the Tesla Cybertruck icon, and then you have all of these selections down on the left side, and whatever you select here, it's going to give you a more detailed, broken down version of that on the right side. Fold mirrors, steering, and so I can, now that activates the button on the left side of the yoke to move the steering wheel up and down. I'm doing it up and down now, and then I can press it in and out, all that. So that's pretty cool. And then I can go car wash mode. That will fold the mirrors in. It'll automatically set the tonneau cover, and just to make it so where it's safe to go into a car wash. Sentry mode is pretty cool. That makes the external sensors on the vehicle to notify you when there is suspicious activity around the vehicle. So if somebody comes and is walking around your Cybertruck, it will automatically record that and flicker the headlights and display a message on the touchscreen indicating that the cameras are recording and watching you. How neat is that? So we're not going to do that right now though. I imagine if you have Sentry mode activated, you're going to have a USB drive full of video recordings, because everybody's going to be coming up and looking at this thing. You tap this to open the glove box, ride height, tonneau cover, headlights, all that. That's just under controls. So we're going to go through quickly and look at dynamics, drive mode. So sport, there's acceleration, and you have chill or standard. So we're going to go standard. Ride and handling is focused. Preferred ride height, lower. Regenerative brakes. So that's all that. Slippery surface and engage rear locking differential whenever it senses slippery gravel or loose or uneven terrain right there. Towing and hauling, charging. You can see we have 53% battery left. Outlets and mods. So these are going to be 2 power feeds. So that's what you can use to plug stuff in if you need to. Autopilot, pretty cool. I tried to actually do that, but it said no, because it will be available in an upcoming software release. Locks, lights, accent lights. This is so cool. This is where you can change the color of your accent lights. It's in pink right now. We're going to do green because I like green. And so now the accent lights are going to be green. Dome lights, automatic. You can see that all of this is pretty much common sense stuff. Tesla has done a great job with making complicated stuff not complicated. And if you can use an iPhone, in my opinion, you can use everything here. It's no problem at all. And I think that they have had to do a lot of thought and innovation into this because of the lack of buttons. Because it's almost like a lot of manufacturers nowadays are competing to see how many buttons they can put in their cabins. Not with Tesla. They're removing buttons, and I love it because they've put it all here, and it's not that bad. It's actually pretty easy. So you can go through and you can, I was really surprised at the pounds per square inch of these tires. It said recommended pressure is 50. That's a lot, and I guess it's just simply because of the size of the tires. Then there's your owner's manual, and so it's probably loading 1,000 pages of stuff. So there you go. This is your owner's manual. That is just the coolest. Software, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. Check out this. Check this out. So I can go here and I can go browser, and this browser is fabulous. I'm probably not telling you guys anything that you don't already know, but watch how fast this loads. Latest in breaking news, Yahoo. So look at that. Isn't that amazing just how quickly all of that pops up? That's just like high-speed internet at your house. That is absolutely incredible. And then you can expand it all the way. So talk about being bored outside a doctor's appointment, waiting for somebody or whatever. Boom, there you go. Okay, so that's the owner's manual. So then I can press this button and it brings up all kinds of cool things. Energy, phone, calendar. I'm not gonna go through all of these because you don't need to sit here for the whole thing and go through all these, but a couple of cool things. Toy box. Thank you for bringing this back, because for a while there, they did away with that. And how could you do away with Nutri-Stink? And then you can move it. Let's see. Oh, wait. And you can blame it on your passengers. Fart on demand, or fart on turn signal. Don't mind if I do. Golly. So how can you not like this car? I mean, you're just stupid if you don't like this stuff. Colorizer, light show. This will actually give you a light show on the outside of your vehicle, scheduled times, all that stuff. My gosh, it's just absolutely amazing. Boombox, I actually just tried that, and you can actually listen to music on the outside. Romance, this is so cool because it's going to say get cozy, and then the whole screen will turn into a fire, and then warm air actually starts to come out of the dash. Yep, it's getting warm. We don't want that because it's, oh gosh. We don't want that because it's 95 degrees outside today. So how neat is that? Then there's sketch pad, sketch on, and then there's Mars, multi-planetary species. So that's just the kind of cool stuff I love about Tesla. Then you have that's your cameras. Then you have your stations, and this is obviously going to be music. And then here is Tesla Theater. And then here is Bluetooth. So that's a quick overview of this beautiful 17-inch screen. I think, as you can see, as long as you have a good hold of how a basic cell phone works, you can work all this stuff. It should be no problem. Now, the fun part of this thing, let's take it for a spin. Okay, everybody, the moment I have been waiting for, I'm sure it's the moment you have been waiting for as well. So you can see that right here, when I put my foot on the brake, all I do, and like I said before, is swipe up. Now we are ready to drive. Press accelerator to drive. Here we go. Now I want to show you what I mean by this yoke steering wheel. So you see that? When I do that, you can't tell because you're not in here, but there's a lot of body rock. It feels wobbly when you turn it. So it feels wobbly because it's got that four-wheel steering, and when you turn it though, you feel the wobble, and then boom, it's like a zero-turn mower. Look at that. I've never experienced anything like that before. And then it straightens right back out. Also notice the yoke whenever I do a turn here, how little of a turn there is. So from lock to lock. Watch this. This is straight. Now watch. That's not even a whole turn. It's like a half turn. That is incredible. So that is one of the parts that you have to get used to this thing. And you especially don't want to be driving it fast in like a curvy driving situation until you get used to that, because you could turn it too far and way oversteer and end up in a place you don't want to be with a big old vehicle like this. So that's about the yoke. I was kind of weird about it at first. I didn't know what it was going to be like. Look, I have not even put my foot on the brake. It's got that regen braking that is just incredible. All right, so here we go. I'm going to get it out on a little bit of a straight, and I'm going to push it. That is phenomenal. That is one of the coolest sensations I've ever felt. And it doesn't drive big. It is a big vehicle, but it doesn't feel that way because of the fact that you have this super cool steering that makes it very, very nimble, and you've got the power that goes along with it. So it feels like you're, I wouldn't say a sports car, but it definitely doesn't feel like you're in a vehicle that's a Cybertruck at all, or the size of a Cybertruck at all. There's, as far as the wind noise is concerned, you can see we're going 50 right now, and it just feels really, really good. It doesn't feel loud, or there's not a whole bunch of wind noise, and I think that's due in large part to the fact that this huge windshield is super aerodynamic. You can't tell that it has great big monster tires on it. And look how little I'm turning that steering wheel in order to achieve that input. So watch this. So here's a sorry, I didn't sorry, I didn't deactivate the farting. Oh my gosh, look at this. As you can see, I didn't deactivate the farting command on the turn signal, so it farted. Watch this. Oh goodness. Okay, so this really appeals to the immature side of me, which is a pretty big portion of my personality. This is, y'all, I love this vehicle. There's no two ways about it. I am in love with this thing. It is the coolest thing I've ever driven. And you can see here, I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's showing the lanes in traffic. And I'm coming up on a vehicle here. And so there it is. And if you're familiar with Tesla at all, you've seen this technology before. It's showing a street sign, and there's a vehicle right there that I'm about to pass. And so it's just super, super neat. And when you're at slow speeds, like in a parking lot and people are walking around, you can see people walking around there as well. The detail in the map is actually super helpful. Because if you're driving in an area that you're familiar, you can see familiar landmarks. I love the display screen here too. You have a lot going on, but it's arranged in such a way where it really makes sense. There's your rear camera, and I think you can actually change that. Then there's us on the road in the lane. There is our music, our map, clock, temperature, drive mode, how many miles I have on the charge. It's actually much more simple to drive than I anticipated. It's super neat. All right, coming up to a light here. Again, it's stopping me by itself. I'm using one pedal driving right now. I'm not touching the brake. And now I'm touching the brake because I overestimated that a little bit, but I barely had to touch the brake. I would imagine you're probably gonna have the brakes done every 200,000 miles if you drive it that long. Oh, there's another cool thing. You can see here, it lets you know when the light turns green. It will actually give you a little beep when the light turns. That is just so neat. I can honestly say I would enjoy this vehicle as a daily driver if I had one, and if I had the right charging area and all that stuff, because it takes a while to charge this monster. The seats are super nice. I think that I would be able to go for a long trip in this thing. And it's interesting, as far as the climate control system is concerned, that there are no vents. It's like there's one massive huge vent across the front, and it feels like it's coming from two different levels, but it's only one level right here. And but that's totally comfortable. It almost makes it feel like a central air in your house situation. All right, you see here, it's showing you the cars going around the corner. There's the light. Listen for the tone when it turns green. Neat. So to all you Tesla Cybertruck haters out there, don't knock it till you try it. I'm telling you, Yes, I know it's hard to overcome the exterior look of this thing, but again, it's just, I'm of the opinion that I just love the way this thing looks. It is just so cool, because Tesla just says, I don't care what conformity looks like, I'm gonna make what I want, and you have it. And that's one of the things that appeals to me about it. They don't have to be like everybody else. But when you get behind the wheel of this thing, you don't really, all that kind of goes away, and it just feels, it's just so fun to drive. Yeah. What a cool vehicle. This has just been an absolute blast. I'm surprised because it's much easier to drive than, and just to, I'm gonna turn on my turn signal. You ready? Oh my gosh. And I'm gonna leave that active for the next person who comes and drives this thing. Okay, everybody, that's gonna do it for our look at the 2024 Tesla Cybertruck. I hope you had as much fun watching this video as I did making it for you. And again, I want to say a huge thank you to Impex Auto Sales for the opportunity to film this beautiful beast. Please check out all of their contact information in the description box below. But remember, the most important thing of all, have a wonderful day, everybody.